stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now everyone may seat themselves.
I'm Jared. This is Central Connect, Wayzata Central Middle School's weekly news program for the week beginning April 20th, 2018. Central Connect is presented by volunteers each week.
And I am Lindsay Layerly. Central Connect is watched in advisories and can be viewed from the CMS web. Central Connect is the place to hear about what's happening at CMS and how you can be involved.
Most recent You've Been Spotted winners are for 6th grade, Addie W., for 7th grade, Zakaria A., and for 8th grade, Alex K. Congratulations to everyone who showed their Trojan pride this week in CMS.
The CMS 2018 votes for the Maud Hart Lovelace Award have been counted and submitted. Second place, Fort. And first place for CMS, The War That Saved My Life. If you haven't read our winners, come to this MC for a copy today. The statewide MHL Division's second winner and the next year's nominees will be announced on April 21st at the Red Balloon Bookshop in St. Paul. Breakfast Book Club meets next on Monday, April 30th at 8 a.m. to discuss The Bamboo Sword by Margie Preuss. Book Club members who have finished reading, please return your copy to the Media Center for a second reader. If you don't have a copy yet, come to the Media Center for one so you'll be ready for our discussion on April 30th. If you're not a BBC member, join us the last Monday of each month for bagels and good conversations about books.
Breakfast Book Club enrollment never closes, so if you still want to join this or any open intramural, fill out and turn them in a blue intramural form to the front office.
Have you noticed the locker ads showing up on lockers or on CMS? If you've read a book you think someone else would enjoy, why not advertise it on your locker? Stop by the Media Center and pick up a few, along with the contact paper to attach them. Let's show everyone that CMS reads. Now here is Jared with this week's book review.
Turn Left at the Cow is one of my favorite books because it is a novel based in Minnesota. It's a 297-page book about a young boy whose dad was accused of robbing a bank, but he really has thoughts against that. Pick up a copy of this in the Media Center to see what that does in the journey that he embarks on.
I haven't read this book, but it sounds good. I think I'll try it.
You're very welcome.
Last Tuesday, author Brian Wells came to CMS to talk with students about his new book, The League and the Lantern. Copies are available for borrowing in the Media Center.
Here, they all start with a very unlikely hero. Somebody who nobody would ever expect would be a hero. They themselves probably don't even think they have it in them to be a hero. They're living an ordinary life, and something comes crashing into their world. And it could be a very bad thing that comes crashing into their world, or it could be a very good thing that comes crashing into their world. Something comes crashing into their world that totally changes things and pulls them out on this journey. We call that the call to adventure.
We are here with Brian Wells, author of a new series which begins with The League and the Lantern, and producer of many television productions. Mr. Wells, what made you interested in becoming a writer?
Well, I think for me it started just with loving to read. You know, I just love stories. So I remember like in early middle school, like reading, or maybe even late grade school, reading like Island of the Blue Dolphins and Phantom Toll Booth and kind of stuff like that. So and Hardy Boys, I was huge on Hardy Boys, loving to read. But then starting to think, wow, I think I got some own ideas in my head, some adventures, and just starting to kind of put them down. So I think it was just loving stories, whether it's books or it's movies or it's TV. I've just always loved stories, and I wondered if maybe I had my own stories in my head, and then being brave enough to kind of to start to write them out. So I think that's it. I just love stories, and then I figured I would try to create some of my own.
What do you like to do in your spare time when you aren't creating films or writing books?
Well, I have a son and a daughter. They're both in college now, but whenever I can, I like to hang out with them. So my son loves to play video games, so I'll play video games with him. He also actually loves any movie that has a superhero in it, any. So I go to a lot of superhero movies with my son, as well. And I've been married for 25 years. I love to hang out with my wife. We love to ride bikes, and then we travel. I like to travel a lot. So I actually just got back from South Korea. I was over there a couple months ago. Love to travel as well.
What advice do you have for a person who would like to be a writer or a television producer?
Oh yeah, I think I probably have kind of 3 pieces of advice. The first one is they should read a lot. If they're going to be a part, whether they're a writer or a producer, they're going to be part of kind of helping create stories. They should be a fan of stories. And so I would say read a lot. The second thing I would say, if they want to write, the thing is writers write. If you have awesome ideas in your head, hilarious, great adventures, all that, and you write them out and they're just not very good when you write them out, they're not as funny as you thought they would be, they're not as adventuresome, I say congratulations, you're now a writer, because that's what writers do. But if you have awesome ideas in your head and you never write them out, I don't care how awesome they are in your head, you're not a writer. Sorry if you don't write them out. So the thing that writers have to do is you have to give yourself permission to write poorly. Everybody thinks that great writing masterpieces just come out, great movies, great. I've never seen any great story, whether it's a movie, a book, or anything, that didn't start with a really crummy first draft. So writers and producers, they read, they give themselves permission to write poorly. And then the third thing I would say is just realize that all of these businesses, like a lot of life, there's a lot more failure than there is success. And you have to realize that you're going to fail along the way, and you'll do what I call fail better. Just learn to fail better, along the way. I think it's the third big piece of advice I say. And what I always say with that is, like, if I was like in a room, and whether it was a writer or a director, an actor, and there were 2 of them in a room, and one of them had kind of A-level talent and B-level perseverance, the ability to fail and get back up and keep going. But the other one had just B-level talent and A-level perseverance, my bet would be on the B-level talent person every time, because I think the much more important, you need some level of talent, but much more importantly, you need perseverance, the ability to keep going even when it gets tough, or to get up from failure and try again. So those are the 3 things I would say.
Thanks for visiting CMS and sharing your ideas with us.
In sports news, 7th and 8th boys tennis and 7th and 8th boys and girls track and field are underway. Watch the activities calendar online and come cheer for our teams in their meets. Do you have information about CMS activities, achievements, or athletic, which should be on Central Connect? Or do you want to be part of the CC News team? Talk with your advisor and ask her or him to choose a week and contact Dr. Rogers in the Media Center. That's it for Central Connect for the week beginning April 20th, 2018.
20 million people participated in the first Earth Day event on April 22nd in 1970. This year, over 1 billion people across the world will get involved in related activities. What year recorded the warmest average temperature since the 1880s? What year experienced the coldest temperatures on record? Negative.
Stay fun, CMS!
So nobody's throwing scissors. That's good. Nice to meet you. All right.